So make sure that you like and subscribe. Let's get into this. So I saw on it was on Facebook or something. Some young lady was talking about, or she was asking questions about what to do. Like, how do you move on after a breakup? And I thought about, damn, I haven't even really addressed this on my channel. So I helped her out a little bit, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna make this a video because I'm pretty sure that different people have struggled with this. So these are 5 steps. Now, some of these steps you can do in a different order. Okay, you don't have to, like, maybe you want to put step 4 at the top. That's fine. But these are still 5 vital steps. All right. So step 1, after you break up, after the relationship doesn't work, or whatever transpired to make you all break up, number 1, you need to identify what changed in you. So identify, did I become more angry? Did I become more jealous? Did I become more irritable? What was happening within me in this relationship? Did being with the person or dealing with whatever that they were doing or not doing make me a worse person or a better person? So identify what changed in you. Mostly, what changed for the negative. Okay? Because if there's a breakup and it's not amicable, where, you both were okay with, moving on, you ready to move on, and it was normally, breakups, it's like it was a bad thing, it was an argument, it was, after some sort of issues going on for whatever period of time, you broke up, or maybe the person just left, or whatever it was, and then that's when it's normally hard to move forward. And sometimes even when it's amicable, it's hard to move forward. But you got to identify what changed and what was changing, and what may still be changing in you, based on what you experienced in that relationship. That is, identifying that is really key to not doubling back too quickly, or not doubling back at all. It's really key, because if you're not okay with, being with this person makes me feel like this, whatever that their actions were, made me feel like I had to be this way. If you don't like how it made you feel, if you don't like what it made you change into, it makes it easier for you to say, oh, no, not gonna do that, because you've already identified what happens. It's kind of like, that eating cheeseburgers and eating candy or eating bonbons make you fat, and if you are a person that has stopped doing that and has started to lose weight or have lost a considerable amount of weight, if you identify that eating those different things is what got you to be larger, what made you unhealthy, it's going to be easier for you to refuse it. Say, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. Give me a salad. Give me something healthy. Okay? So number 1, identify what changed in you. Number 2, see a therapist. We often talk to friends, family, our best friend, our mama, our pastor, all these people that already know us, that are already biased. Sometimes, and whether people admit it or not, sometimes we even go back and talk to the person that we broke up with. I don't know what to do and how to get over you. Like, we talk to everybody but a professional person that is equipped to handle this, that's unbiased, that can give us objective answers, or help us look at the situation objectively. So seek a therapist. See a therapist, counselor. If you feeling, like you off the deep end, and I'm feeling like on a level of clinical depression, I'm feeling suicidal. You might even want to actually seek out an actual psychiatrist. You might need some medication. It just depends on you. And a therapist and counselor, if they can pinpoint and see, if you need to be at that level where you need to be medicated regarding, how you feel and things like that. But usually just talking with a therapist or a counselor, that a person that's there to help you talk through your issues, can definitely help you put things in perspective. And depending on what your financial situation is, there's different resources for therapists and counselors. Depending on where you're at, they're not all super expensive. Contrary to popular belief, there is cheap or free or discounted or easier to afford therapy out there. Just look for it. Google is your friend. Seek it out. Okay. Number 3, be honest. Be honest with yourself and take accountability. That's part of the honesty. Taking accountability for your part, not just your part in the breakup itself, but your actions before, during, and now after the relationship. Take accountability for the way the relationship started, what you were doing prior to you even meeting this person that allowed them to come into your life, especially if it's a breakup from a relationship that was toxic through and through, that you were holding on to. Well, what was going on with you in order for you to even allow that in? If it's a relationship that was great in the beginning and then things start going downhill, whatever, you still need to evaluate and be honest with that evaluation and take accountability for whatever your part was, whatever your actions have been. Even if you feel like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong, examine it. Really sit back and look at yourself and see, well, what did I do here? What did I do there? That will help you from not doing said thing again in a new relationship or in a new connection or a new dating situation, getting to know somebody. Which leads me to number 4. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. That will prevent you, again, from spiraling into old habits. We know old habits can die hard if we don't kill them off. And being honest, taking accountability will help you be able to set those boundaries. Being honest with yourself and knowing, like, okay, I know if this person still has certain access to me, I know I'm going to sleep with them. That honesty right there. So I know that the boundary that I have to set is letting them know that they can't come over my house anymore, or letting them know that I won't come to them anymore. Or if they had a key or if they had some sort of access, you know that you need to take that away. You know that you need to set that boundary. No, you can't come over here at 2, 3, 4 a.m. when you get out the club, because that's going to recreate the soul tie or connection or whatever that people want to call that physical connection that's happening when you lay down with somebody. Okay, set boundaries. It might not even have anything to do with sex. It might be maybe you were really giving to that person. Make it where you don't have that type of connection with them anymore. Um, Set boundaries as far as, them being able to still reach out to you, them still being able to just simply have access to you. And set boundaries not just for that old person, because if they broke up with you, 9 times out of 10 they might not even be checking for you no more, for real. But you need to set boundaries for new people, okay, so that the thing that happened before won't happen now. Okay, maybe this relationship dissipated, we broke up because we moved too fast and didn't realize that, we were not fully compatible. Okay, well, next time you need to set a boundary of, i'm I'm not going to sleep with a person within the first month, or I'm gonna set boundaries where I'm not allowing them to move in with me, or I'm not moving in with them, until we've been dating, courting for however many months or a year or whatever. you know Draw a line in the sand on what you will and will not do, what you will and will not accept. Those are boundaries. If you didn't have none before, well, it's time to get some. So set boundaries. And number 5, last but not least, and remember, these can go in a different order. I would, for real, I feel like number 5 should be the last thing you do, because it's kind of hard to get into this if you haven't done any of this, because the relationship, the previous situation, has a way of spilling over into your new connections if you don't deal with all this first. Okay, but because remember I said in the beginning that these can be a little out of order. Maybe you might decide, you know what, I need to see a therapist before I do anything. You don't know how to identify what changed in you. You don't know how to, take accountability and look at all of your actions. You don't understand where you should set the boundaries at. So yes, for a person like that, start with a therapist, because a therapist can help you identify those things. Okay, but moving on, number 5, last but not least, date other people after you do the above. And even here with the set boundaries, okay, you're setting boundaries, of course, to protect yourself. That's what boundaries are for. That's what a gate does, with a house. Is protecting different things from coming into that house. You're protecting things from coming into your space, into your psyche, into your mental and emotional and even physical health, right? So that's not just for, new people, but that's also for the person that you was dealing with. People spin the block all the time. And sometimes it works out, but normally it doesn't work out unless this particular type of work has been done. If this type of work ain't been done on both ends, if both people haven't evaluated themselves, if both people haven't taken accountability for their actions, if both people haven't figured out what changed in them, if both people ain't talked to somebody to help them get over, the hurdle that is themselves, a lot of times the same issues is going to occur in the second part or second portion of the relationship, because nothing has changed. Just a little time done went by, but nothing has changed. Maybe, maybe one person or both of them have gotten a little older, a little more mature, if it's been some years go by. But if they have not dealt with those other things, they have to still deal with them at some time. Okay, so it's okay to date other people in the meantime and in between time. And even if you're going to let that person spin the block, they don't need to be able to spin the block and y'all right back in where y'all was at. No, they need to go back on the roster. They need to go back into who you were, dating. Y'all need to start back fresh. All this, I'm going to come in and we're going to pick up where we left off stuff, is often a recipe for disaster. often, most of the time, it's a recipe for disaster. Again, especially if this stuff up here hasn't been done. Really, you making them date you again first is to make sure that these things have been done. Because what if, y'all done broke up, you done took your key back, or they done took their key back, or whatever. You moved out, or they moved out. Whatever level of the seriousness of your relationship was, okay? Y'all spend a little time away from each other, a few months, 6 months, I don't know. And they call you, baby. I really want to come back. I love you so much. I can't be without you, Father Skippy. And you say, come on home. And they come back. Y'all act like nothing ever happened. Of course, y'all gonna have makeup sex. It's gonna be great. Y'all might, eat and do whatever, and all the things. But at some point, you're gonna face whatever transpired again. If you haven't dealt with that, if y'all haven't had clear communication about those things, about the identifying what happened, about accountability and honesty and dealing with those challenges, okay? I'm not saying you got to date them for whatever, a specified period of time. It's up to you. It's up to both of y'all. It might take a couple of dates and a few conversations to see, okay, they've done ... I can see whatever change in them and blase skippy, and we ready to move forward. Cool. Love is an infinite thing. It's not finite at all. So I'm not one of those people that's so against, you never spin the block. No. For some people, it actually worked. For some people, they needed to have time apart to grow, to get their shit together, to change and evolve into the best version of themselves, and then they are better for each other. It happens. But they still need to do some work. Still need to have some things implemented. A lot of the greatest couples have had, times of separation, or times where maybe they weren't physically separated, but they went through a time where things were changing and evolving, and sometimes it didn't feel that great, and then they came back together, and it was a beautiful thing because this person has grown in this arena and this person has grown in that one, and that's okay. All right. But definitely dating other people, if you know you done, like, I will never date this person again, gross, then after you've done all this stuff, date other people. And not just hop into, I met this one person, I'm dating this one person, and we're going on all these dates and whatever, and I'm exclusively dating this one new person. No, date multiple people at the same time. It's okay to go out with one person Friday and then go out with another person Saturday and a different person Sunday. It's perfectly fine. They don't owe you anything and you don't owe them anything. You're not obligated just because you went on a date, just because they took you to, I don't know what people talk about, the Cheesecake Factory shit, the Grand Lux, or the shit Outback. Y'all love Red Lobster, Texas Roadhouse. Hell, it don't matter. Shit, McDonald's. I don't know. I don't care. It don't matter. Wherever that y'all choose to go on your date, that's here nor there. But date other people. Get a feel for other people. This is how we help identify what we need for us. Sometimes we've been used to dating a certain type of person, and we haven't gotten a chance to experience another type of person. And then once we do experience another type of person, it's like a whole nother world opens up for you. And then you realize, I really like this. It's kind of like something Eddie Murphy said, if you're old enough to remember. It was an Eddie Murphy Raw when he was talking about women withholding sex for a long period of time. And he was like, you know, if you starving and I give you a cracker, you're gonna be like, God damn, this is the best cracker I ever had in my life. This a Ritz, you know. And it's kind of the same thing with dating. If you only been, you know, with the you only been on McDonald's level dating, you only been on, you know, Outback dating type of level, you know, and then you meet somebody that's Ruth Chris level. And I'm not just talking about the restaurant itself. I'm not just talking about financial itself. This could be intellect. This could be, you know, mentality and emotional availability. This could be physicality, sexuality. You know what I'm saying? Could be a guy versus girl. I don't know, depending on what your orientation is. But you could be used to something for a long time and think like, oh, this is it, this is it. And then, you know, not knowing that you starved for this other stuff. And then you go date a new person. You go meet a new person that has all these things happening that's positive, that's new, you know. They introduce you to some new things. And it's exciting. And it's cool. And you're really experiencing life now. You know, you're really getting a chance to breathe and see what's really there, and not just, you know, putting yourself in this little box with this type of person. So yes, date other people after you do all that. Okay, these are my 5 steps to move on after a breakup. I really hope that this helped somebody. Hope that somebody got some insight from this information. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. This has been another free game. Toodles.